Hey fam, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving straight into the action. Dolton's swearing-in ceremony. New Mayor Jason House and the incoming trustees stood tall, raised their right hands, and officially took their oaths of office. The crowd? Charged up. The atmosphere? Pure electricity. And if you've been following the nonstop chaos in Dolton or the circus running through Thornton Township, you already know this wasn't politics as usual. This was theater. This was a show. Here's the headline. Tiffany Henyard, once the unshakable power broker of this entire region, just lost not one, but two massive titles. First, voters sent her packing after a single term as Dolton's mayor. Then came the caucus curveball. Thornton Township stripped her of the supervisor seat she clung to. Overnight, her empire collapsed. And the aftershocks? Still shaking the ground across the south suburbs. That's the story we're breaking down today. How Tiffany went from untouchable to unemployed, how her grip on power crumbled piece by piece, and what this leadership shift means for Dolton's future. And here's the twist. Her lawsuit to fight it all? Tossed out by a judge. Her response? In classic Tiffany fashion, she fired back. I will be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal. This is illegal. In your face. That wasn't parody. That was her word for word SO if you're sitting there thinking, wait, what did she just say? Or maybe you're lost on how we even got here. Don't stress. We got deep dives all over this channel, exposing Tiffany's scandals, controversies, and the trail of dysfunction she left behind. Once you see the full picture, you'll get why Dolton and Thornton finally had enough. The curtain came down. The show ended. Change was long overdue. But today isn't just Tiffany's downfall. It's about the reset. The spotlight is now on Jason House and the trustees stepping into power. This wasn't just a routine swearing-in. This was a hard reset for an entire village, and you could feel the shift vibrating in the room. I pulled the rawest, sharpest moments from those speeches, and when the trustees described working under Tiffany's shadow, it was unfiltered, it was heavy, and it cut deep. Before we jump into those clips, quick favor. If you're new here, hit that like button so you never miss stories that actually matter. And if you've been rocking with us, smash it too. It pushes the truth out to more people who need to hear it. Because this wasn't just another ceremony. This was a political turning point. And you're about to watch it unfold right here. Now, if you've been following the whirlwind inside Dolton and Thornton Township, you already know it's been nonstop chaos. And if this is your first time stepping into the saga, buckle up. This channel is stacked with breakdowns of Tiffany's controversial reign, the scandals that piled high, and the breaking point that forced residents to finally take their power back. After years of frustration, the people drew the line. But today, the moment belonged to Jason House. He raised his hand, took the oath, and became Dolton's new mayor, alongside a brand new slate of trustees. And this didn't feel like formality. This felt like rebirth, a reset for a community desperate for fresh air. For many, it symbolized hope, transparency, and accountability. And when those speeches started rolling, the honesty landed hard. Trustees spoke of dysfunction, abuse, and what it means to finally breathe outside Henyard grip. And then came Tiffany's exit. And let's be clear, she didn't bow out quietly. She stormed out with one last dramatic performance. Reminding the crowd she was Dolton's first black female mayor, Tiffany doubled down on her legacy with fire. Y'all know I'm the first, the youngest female mayor. Female, stop following blindly. Educate yourself, she shouted, painting herself as a victim of verbal attacks, while blasting her critics for keeping up confusion. This wasn't farewell, it was a fight. In a strange twist, Tiffany Henyard tried to stage what she called a unity moment. She turned to the crowd with that practiced politician smile and said, "Neighbor, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it." But the softness only lasted a second. Her words quickly sharpened, turning into a jab disguised as wisdom. She accused her critics of overstepping, blamed them for failures that weren't theirs, and then landed her punchline. They asked if I'm going to sing the same song they sang when I lost. I said no. I'm not returning ignorance with ignorance. That line hit the room like a slap, because everyone there remembered what really happened the night trustee Edward Steve lost his seat. Steve, battling multiple sclerosis, barely holding himself steady, stood at the mic to deliver a heartfelt farewell. The man was dignified, emotional, and vulnerable. But Henyard? She couldn't resist. She grabbed the mic and sang, "Na na hey hey, kiss him goodbye." A cruel, childish stunt that cut through Steve's dignity and burned itself into Dolton's history. Now here she was, trying to play the role of a unifier, pretending she never mocked a man in the middle of his fight. Her new unity speech was inspiring. It was dripping with hypocrisy, a full-circle moment, but not in the way she wanted. Then came the shift. Trustee Brittany Norwood stepped up and changed the entire energy of the room. No games, no ego, just raw honesty. She spoke about pounding pavement in freezing weather, about neighbors who showed up with hot coffee and hand warmers just to keep her going. She told the crowd how every single vote felt like hope placed directly in her hands. She admitted the nights of self-doubt, the moments of prayer, the calls to her mom before facing tough meetings. At one point, she confessed she once believed in Henyard promises, but now she stood as living proof that leadership isn't about slogans or selfies, that it's about service. And the room felt it. Trustee Kiana Elsher brought a different kind of fire. Her speech wasn't polished. It was personal. She thanked God, thanked her family, and reminded the crowd she once held a mandate that could silence any doubter. 82% of the vote, as Dolton's first female mayor. But that pride turned to pain. Her voice cracked, her hands shook, and then she let it out. "How dare you backstab me?" The words cut like glass. And the way she said it, it sounded so much like Henyard's voice that the room froze. Was she defending Henyard? Was she breaking from her? Nobody knew. What was clear, though, was the wound hadn't healed, and the scars were still bleeding. And then came Jason House. His entrance felt like a different universe. No drama, no stunts, no flexing for the cameras. Just calm, measured words about accountability, service, and listening. And in that calm, the power was undeniable. After years of noise, Dolton didn't want another show. They wanted leadership they could trust. And in House, they finally saw a path to peace over spectacle. Clerk Allison Kirk pulled the story together with her own reflection. She went back nearly 20 years, to the day Jason House knocked on her door campaigning against political powerhouse William Shaw. She said his vision was so clear, so genuine, that she pulled out her checkbook right there on the porch. 2 decades later, she stood in the same room watching him sworn in as mayor. She admitted the past few years drained her spirit, tested her patience, and made her question if the fight was worth it. But seeing this moment, seeing the people win, felt like redemption. When House raised his hand for the oath, it sealed the story. On one side, the memory of 2021, when he was sworn in as trustee. On the other, 2025, same Bible, same presence. But this time, the stakes were heavier. A young family member held the Bible steady, reminding everyone this wasn't just about politics. It was legacy, a story of survival, resilience, and a village finally breaking free from the storm. Jason House's rise isn't just about him. It's about Dolton. After years of scandal, corruption, FBI raids, and viral meltdowns, the people chose something different. They chose leaders who listen, leaders who serve, leaders who deliver. The storm hasn't passed, but the winds have shifted. And that shift, it's historic. Now the real question, what comes next? The cameras are off, the applause has faded, and the work starts now. Dolton's story is still being written, and this chapter is just the beginning. So let me ask you, what do you want to see from Jason House's leadership? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe this moment matters, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in. Because this isn't the end. It's the first page of a brand new story.